Hey guys, I'm Fill in the Blanks. Welcome back to another NPC. This is episode 4 of a little mini-series thingy where I am cutting as many characters as I can possibly cut for a fictional 6th Smash Brothers game, which, in my opinion, will be rebooted to only include a smaller roster of very iconic characters. And this whole thing is about who would I cut to make a much smaller roster. We've already looked at Smash Brothers 64, Smash Brothers Melee, and Smash Brothers Brawl. So we are now on to Smash Brothers for 3DS and Wii U. I usually just call it Smash 4, so we'll probably just call it Smash 4 for the rest of this episode. And if you haven't watched those other ones, I really suggest you do, to kind of see my mentality of why I cut characters and why I don't cut characters, because that might get a little thrown out today. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said last time, Brawl, I think, was a really balanced group of new characters that they added, while Smash 4 seemed to add some really truly iconic characters and some really random grab bag of characters that kind of shouldn't come back. So we'll count those down today in this 4th episode. Alright, let's get it started right now. Echo 21, Lucina. We're going to start with Lucina and Dark Pit. They're the 2 Echo characters that were added to this game. This is when Echoes were truly a thing. And these 2 characters were kind of added to Smash in Smash 4 as their own separate character, but in Ultimate were admitted to be just Echoes, just barely changed versions of characters that were already in the game. So let's do them first, and then when we do Smash Ultimate, we'll cover the rest of the Echoes, basically. But first up, Lucina. Lucina is just Marth, but lighter and I guess faster, for a character who's already pretty light and pretty fast. Marth's whole shtick is that he's got the tipper, which is the farther he is away from the enemy, but can still hit with the tip of his sword, the stronger he is. Well, Lucina does not have that, so she's actually more balanced in that sense. But in the end, who cares? She's just a character from Fire Emblem Awakening. She's an important character to Fire Emblem Awakening, but she's like a third main character. It's like having just Hector and not Eli Wood or Lyn. Do you know what I mean? And yes, I know that the other 2 main characters, Chrom and Robin from Fire Emblem Awakening, are also in Smash Brothers. We'll get to them when we get to them. But Lucina, no, sorry, you're cut. Echo 28, Dark Pit. I hate Dark Pit. Dark Pit is the epitome of what is wrong with Echo characters. He's just Pit. He's just Pit, with slight variations of moves. I'll be honest, I don't dislike Dark Pit from a story standpoint. He's a fun character in Uprising, but he's lazy. I'm the bad version of Pit. And Pit even has a dark costume, a dark version of himself that you can just use Pit for. So Dark Pit is totally not necessary. He's one of the worst Echoes. I think he's probably the worst Echo in Smash Brothers. I mean, he doesn't have a point. There's way more characters from Kid Icarus you could add than Dark Pit. So no, Dark Pit, get on my freaking face. Number 45, Villager from Animal Crossing. Villager is a really great addition. He is someone that I don't think anyone thought was going to appear. Every single other character in Smash up to this point has been a fighter in some way, or a hero in some way. You can say oh, well, maybe not Dr. Mario, sure, but he's fighting off diseases. Ice Climbers, yeah, but they're explorers. They do a lot. Same with Olimar. He's had to salvage his way back home. Even Mr. Game & Watch has been 100 different things in his games. But Villager likes to just go on his thing, and he's in debt to a raccoon and has a good old, fun old time. He was a great addition. Fantastic. And we're going to cut him. Why? Not because he's not a fighter. I don't think that's important. That's not what's important about why you're in Smash Brothers. I think Villager... It's hard to explain. I don't like the idea of faceless avatars in Smash Brothers, because that's not a character. It's a faceless avatar. Do you know what I mean? And Villager, he's adorable, and he's definitely iconic of the Animal Crossing world. But when New Leaf happened, something else happened, and that is another character became the face of Animal Crossing. And we'll get to that character another time, but for now, Villager is not the iconic part of Animal Crossing anymore. He is just a personality-less I was going to say faceless, but he clearly has a face. You can change the way he looks, or she looks, and that's pretty cool. But because of that, I don't think Villager represents Animal Crossing. So we're going to cut him, and that's going to sound very hypocritical when we come to another character in this episode. Bear with me, I hope. Again, this is just a list that I make up as I go along kind of thing. So if you really don't like why I cut Villager, sorry. This is just for fun, guys. Number 46, Mega Man. Oh, yeah, we're gonna keep Mega Man. This is totally biased. I love Mega Man. Yes, Mega Man's friggin' awesome, but I also think Mega Man is super iconic. I know that he's had a real rough go, but he is classic Nintendo. Classic Nintendo. Capcom, if you had like 2 characters to choose for Smash Brothers, well, you did the right thing, you chose them both. I'm gonna say that right now. But Mega Man absolutely deserves to be in Smash Brothers. He is so iconic, he is so classic. If I had to choose like 2, like how last time I said I'd choose one third-party character to be in Smash Brothers, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. If I had to choose a second one, it'd be Mega Man. No doubt about it. Mega Man is awesome, and he's so cool in Smash Brothers. It's a shame I can't use him worth shit. I am terrible with Mega Man, but I love him. Definitely keep Mega Man. Number 47, Wii Fit Trainer. Even more so than Villager, Wii Fit Trainer is the character that surprised everyone the most, I think, for, whoa, really? You guys even thought about that character for Smash? You know, that kind of thing. Very surprised character. Now, Wii Fit Trainer, you could argue that keeping her would make sense because she really represents a specific time in Nintendo's kind of generation. That is the whole Wii thing. And I'm not arguing that because it's definitely true, but unlike Game & Watch, which represented the pre-NES Nintendo era, there are plenty of representations of the Wii era besides Wii Fit Trainer. Wii Fit only has a couple games. The character, I can't imagine, is iconic because this is as close to as bland as you can make a character. So, no, I'm sorry, we're going to cut Wii Fit Trainer. It's a cute idea, but it's one of those that, like, I don't even think I'm going to use her, to be really honest. But no, I'm sorry, Wii Fit Trainer's gone. 48, Rosalina and Luma. This is a character that I think represents the Wii era more so than Wii Fit Trainer. But, that being said, I can't have this many friggin' characters from the Super Mario series. I've kept almost all of them. And that's a problem. I'm lenient with the amount of Mario characters on Smash Bros. Because it's a Mario thing. It's like Mario is Nintendo's major franchise. So I get why there's a lot of Mario characters. I mean, hell, you could legitimately make a Mario-only Smash Brothers, and you'd still have like 40 characters. And each would be awesome, and I'd still totally play it. But, because just there's so many franchises in Smash Brothers, I can't have a single one overpower all of them so very much. Rosalina, to be honest, I'm surprised it's still around. I thought she would have been in Galaxy, and that'd be it. But she has really shown herself to be a main Mario character. And she's like Falco in the sense that she's so close to that line of I want to keep her, but let's cut her for now. We'll see where things end up, to be honest, and we'll see what happens. 49, Little Mac. Alright, this is pretty self-explanatory. It's exactly the same thing as Captain Falcon and Pip from Kid Icarus. And that is, Little Mac should only stay if there's another Punch-Out game. And it's true that Punch-Out came out in 2009, I believe, and it was a great game. And there's been more Punch-Out games than F-Zero, I believe. No, F-Zero I think wins out. But there has been more Punch-Out games than Kid Icarus, because there's more than just the NES, SNES, and Wii versions. There's also the 2 arcade versions. So, there's that. But I would keep Little Mac for now, similar to how I kept Captain Falcon, blah, blah, blah. If there's not a new Punch-Out game, then yeah, cut Little Mac. He's an old school character who, again, only came back because of the Wii version of Punch-Out. But let's keep him in until we see what happens with the Punch-Out franchise. Number 50, Greninja. Greninja was a great addition to Smash 4 because X and Y had just come out not that long ago at that time, and he was a great character to add. There hadn't been like this crazy, cool, fast ninja type character for Pokemon yet. I mean, you had a fast character in Pikachu and Pichu, and even like Lucario was pretty fast, but he was like the warrior. So the idea of a ninja character was really, really cool. And in a world where Smash Bros. Has 75 playable characters, he belongs. In a world with a much smaller, more truncated roster, no, Greninja doesn't belong anymore. X and Y is old news, so is Greninja. Sorry, that's it. 51, 52, and 53, the Mii Fighters. Now, even more so than Wii Fit Trainer, Rosalina, and Luma, the Mii Fighters really, really, really represent the Wii era. And that's really cool. And even though with Villager I said that I don't like the idea of a faceless Avatar-style character to be represented, the Mii Fighters, man, like, they're not... First of all, they're not from a game. They're the avatars of the actual Wii and the Wii U. And it's one of those things like, man, are they iconic enough? I mean, they're they're the only ones that are truly customizable. But at the same time, it's like, it's first of all surprising that they weren't added to Smash Bros. Brawl. But anyways, I'm actually going to cut them. Only because the idea of a create your own fighter thing, no, it's one of those things that I don't really think belongs in Smash Bros. In the first place, which is a shame because the Mii Fighters, I think their idea totally fits. But no, I think it should be established characters in Smash Bros. So yeah, if this wasn't a perfect example of me literally thinking of reasons out of my ass, I literally flip-flop like 3 times while talking about the Mii Fighters here. So yeah, that's how I think. Number 54, Palutena. Like a lot of the other characters on this list, Palutena is a great idea for Smash Bros. We needed another character from Kid Icarus, and Palutena is a great character. Her design is awesome, her role in Kid Icarus' world is great. I like the idea that she uses a lot of Pit's abilities that you can choose from in Kid Icarus Uprising. It was weird how in this game, in Smash 4, when she was announced and introduced, you could actually change her moves around from the get-go. That's something they cut in Smash Ultimate, because it made her, I wouldn't say complicated, it just, like I just said with the Mii Fighters, Smash isn't a game about customizing things. It's just not. Like, you'd be like, whoa, it'd be cool to do that, though. You can outfit Link with different weapons. Yeah, that'd be very cool. But it can't happen in a game with 75 playable characters. So that's kind of one of those things you'd only do if you had a much smaller roster of characters. And if you're going to have a smaller roster of characters, then characters like Palutena are gone. I don't think she deserves to be in there because I think there's actually way more other characters that deserve to be in Smash Bros. From Kid Icarus than her. And one is Hades. I don't understand why there's still not a villain from Kid Icarus in Smash Bros. But anyways, that's besides the point. Like Pit, I wouldn't even bring Palutena or Pit in if there's not going to be a new Kid Icarus game. So Palutena is one of those, like, hey, who knows, if there was a Kid Icarus Uprising 2 and Palutena was even more important, even maybe even playable, and that'd be kind of cool, then yeah, bring her back. But for now, no, I'm sorry, Palutena's gone. Number 55, Pac-Man. Man, these third-party characters just keep getting better, eh? Sonic the Hedgehog, Solid Snake, Mega Man, and now Pac-Man. Another absolutely no-brainer. And I think if there's a single person out there who actually thinks Pac-Man should be cut, I think they need to be, like, given a stern talking to. I don't know, I didn't want to be too mean there. Pac-Man is one of the most iconic video game characters in history. More than Mega Man, more than Sonic, almost more than Mario. Pac-Man is such a good addition, and after my first 2 characters I want them to show off, I was like, oh my god, new characters, I want Mega Man, I want Little Mac, because, like, Mega Man should have always been in Smash, just like Sonic the Hedgehog. Little Mac was a character that I've always liked Punch-Out and whatnot, and then when they were like, oh, show Greninja and Palutena, I was like, okay, well, they're gonna go do newer characters that I still like but won't care as much, but if they had to add one more character, I want Pac-Man. And then they straight up added Pac-Man. Man, yeah, absolutely. Pac-Man, like Sonic, totally deserves to be in every Smash Bros. From now on. So yeah, we're keeping Pac-Man. Number 56, Robin. Alright, let's get into this. We have 3 characters from Fire Emblem Awakening. We have Lucina, who we've already cut. We have Chrom, who is the main Lord character, and you have Robin. Robin is the avatar character for Fire Emblem Awakening. But unlike every other avatar that you've created in prior Fire Emblem games, which is not many, I think it's just 2 of them, because I think you made one for the DS one that didn't come out here, and then you did one who was Mark from Fire Emblem, what was it called? Blazing Sword or whatever. And unlike those guys, Robin, whether it's male Robin or female Robin, has a voice, personality, and character. And that's important, I think. And that's why we're actually going to keep Robin. It doesn't really explain why you're keeping Robin, because they have a personality. And you're right, that's not a good reason yet. Out of all the Fire Emblem games, Fire Emblem Awakening is the one that saved the franchise. It's Fire Emblem's Final Fantasy VII, if that makes any sense. It's the most iconic Fire Emblem game. And thus, the main character from that game deserves to be in Smash Bros. As a more modern character for Smash, with Marth being the old school past character for Smash, and Robin being the modern one. And why not Chrom? Well, first of all, I didn't say if I cut Chrom yet. We're going to get to that next episode. But Chrom is a Lord character, yes. But Robin is the player's view of the world. And despite that, Robin's not a boring, silent protagonist. You can put yourself in Robin's shoes and make him your gender, and you can make that character fall in love with the character that you like the most in this game. Or Robin can be a standalone character that you don't have to have representing you. And I think that's really important, because Chrom might be the main character for Fire Emblem Awakening, but I think Robin's the life of Fire Emblem Awakening. I think Robin's a great character, and one of the other reasons why, mechanically why, I would keep Robin is because Robin's not a Marth-style character. Almost every other Fire Emblem character up to this point has been just a sword-wielding Lord character. Robin's a mage, Robin's a strategist, Robin can use a sword, but it's not the main point of Robin's fighting style. Robin's a little bit of everything, and I think that's a great idea, and really represents Fire Emblem more than a lot of the other characters from current Fire Emblem games, because of how much more malleable characters from Fire Emblem are in the newer Fire Emblem games. I think Robin deserves to stay. Number 57, Shulk. I'm going to be super honest, this is out of every single character on this entire list of all 75 or whatever playable characters, I am probably going to be the most ignorant about this one, and not on purpose. I have not played a single Xenoblade game. X, Chronicles, any of them. And that's not because I don't want to, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But Shulk is the main character from the first one, I guess, and I guess he appears in the second one, I think? I don't know enough about Shulk to make this decision. So I don't know what to do with him. I don't know if he's important enough to stick around. I don't know if he should be cut, and Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 should be added instead. I honestly don't know. Xenoblade only has really 3 games in its series, with 1, 2, and X. So I don't know where the series is going yet, but clearly it's popular enough that it's one of Nintendo's bigger IPs at the moment. So clearly a character from Xenoblade should be in Smash Bros. I just don't know if it's Shulk or not. So this is a weird one. We're gonna keep this slot. I just don't know if it's him or not. But character from Xenoblade does deserve to be in Smash Brothers, so let's keep a character, but for now we're going to say it's Shulk. So please enlighten me in the comments without spoilers of the main stories of the games. And yes, this is my own fault for not playing these games, because I used to try to play all the games that for any character that's ever been announced for Smash Brothers, but that's it's so impossible nowadays, I find. Tell me if Shulk deserves to stay. Regardless of whether or not he deserves to stay, a Xenoblade character is staying. Just, I don't know if it's him or not. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on that, please. 58, Bowser Jr. I hate Bowser Jr. I hate him. He's dumb. He's lazy. He's a badly designed character who's been important in like 2 games, Super Mario Sunshine and whatever, Bowser's Jr.'s Journey for the remake of Bowser's Inside Story, which, according to sales number, is like one of the worst selling Mario games ever made. Other than that, look, I'm sorry, there's already 7 other greater, much better designed characters that represent an offspring of Bowser, and that is Larry, Lemmy, Iggy, Roy, Morton, Wendy, and Ludwig. I don't know if I missed one or not. I know that canonically those characters aren't Bowser's kids anymore. I don't care. Those are better characters than Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. even looks exactly like Baby Bowser from the Yoshi's Island game. He's a boring, lazy character with a shitty name, and the only time I ever like him is when they do a Nintendo Direct and they show these little skits with Bowser being a dad. That's all I like Bowser Jr. for. He's a dumb character and does not at all belong in Smash Brothers. If anything, keep the Koopalings. But for the sake of only including Bowser Jr., we're going to cut Bowser Jr. Absolutely does not belong in Smash Brothers. There are way better Mario characters than Bowser Jr. 59, Duck Hunt. Alright, do we really even need to say this one? This is a cute idea, and believe me, when I heard about this one, it bothered me that I found out about this one from the internet because Smash 4 had come out in Japan, so people already knew about all the characters. He was the last character to be shown off before DLC. I think he's adorable, but no, of course we're cutting Duck Hunt. Joke characters aren't sticking around. They're just not. I think you guys have noticed that now. And Duck Hunt is like one of the best joke characters I think they've ever added. I think he's great, but no, he's gone. Sorry, Duck Hunt. Maybe another time. Number 60, Ryu. Ryu was the first DLC character announced that was a new character. Up to that point, the other DLC characters, I think Lucas was announced, and Mewtwo was already announced at that point. But Ryu was the first non-veteran character to be announced for DLC. If Smash Brothers is a fighting game all about incredibly iconic characters, there is absolutely no character in a fighting game as iconic as Ryu from Street Fighter. He symbolizes an entire genre, and very, very few characters can do that. So yeah, Ryu should definitely stay. This is a fighting game. He deserves to be around and participate in this. He was a great addition, and Capcom's second best choice that they could have made, the best being Mega Man. So yeah, Ryu should absolutely stay. I don't think he's a big enough deal like Pac-Man and Sonic where he has earned a spot to forever be in Smash Brothers. But for my dumb little project thingamajig, yeah, Ryu deserves to stick around, at least for a little while longer. Number 61, Cloud. Alright, Final Fantasy. Whew. I've talked about Final Fantasy a lot on the channel, but I've never really gotten deep down into anything about it because I've never played one on the channel. But FF7 is far from my favorite Final Fantasy game, even though I still think it's a very well-made one. But this is not about whether or not Phil likes the game or not. This is about whether or not the character is iconic enough to be in Smash Brothers. And yeah, you know what? Cloud, if there's a single character that represents Final Fantasy, it's Cloud, man. Absolutely. Cloud was the biggest surprise for me for Smash Brothers 4. And I mean, it probably is for most people. I mean, no one thought Cloud would be, because he's, out of every single third-party character, is the least Nintendo character. He's only been on Nintendo consoles during the spin-offs like Theater Rhythm. Like, it's crazy that he's there, and he's super well represented. And I actually think he's more representative of Cloud in Smash than he is in like friggin' like Kingdom Hearts or a lot of other Square-made games where he's this whiny, pathetic character who, by the way, he is not that moody in actual Final Fantasy VII. Let's not get into that now. Out of all the DLC characters, he's the one who's on the line the most for me. I could see cutting him, but we're gonna keep him for now, just for fun. To be honest, before we keep going, if I was to cut Cloud but still wanted to keep a Square Enix character, I will say right now that Chrono is my pick. There's also Geno and Sora, which I think are totally viable picks as well. To me, it's Chrono. Chrono from Chrono Trigger. He is, in my opinion, the most iconic Nintendo-based Square Enix character, other than Geno, which I think might rival them out. I'm not sure. But anyways, we're keeping Cloud for now. Number 62, Corrin. Corrin is like Robin in the sense that it's an avatar character, but with an actual, like, personality, whatnot. The only difference with Corrin, though, is Corrin is actually the main character for his or her respective Fire Emblem Fates. That being said, Fire Emblem Fate is, holy crap, probably the most divisive Fire Emblem game, I think, out there. And I think most people will agree is not as good as Awakening. And I don't think it's going to be as iconic as Awakening. I think in 10 years, when you think about Fire Emblem games, I don't think Fates is going to be remembered as fondly. So I don't think Corrin should come back. It's a cool idea to have Corrin, the whole dragon thing and whatnot, but no, I can't put Corrin in there and keep Robin. I can't put Robin in there and keep Corrin. So I have to choose between one of them. I think Robin should stay more than Corrin. Number 63, Bayonetta. Man, there's a lot of controversy in this group of selections compared to the other Smash games. Please don't hate me for this. I think Bayonetta is the worst third-party character in all of Smash. She's also the least iconic. I understand that Bayonetta is a popular game series. It only has 2 entries in the franchise, with a third one about to come out, or we don't know when that's coming. It was announced 2 years ago or something. But I don't get it. I don't know why Bayonetta's in Smash Bros. Like, I'm sorry, in 15 years, no one's gonna remember Bayonetta, other than the people who, like, played Bayonetta. No one's gonna be going down the history of video games and be like, Bayonetta. Now that's when things with video games change. No, it's a great game, but I don't get it. I'm sorry, I don't understand it. No, she doesn't belong in Smash Bros. Not for this, anyways. I think, like, for continuing the game the way it's been going with just adding more characters, sure, keep her on there. She's a fun character to play as, and she is interesting, and her stage is really cool, and her music's really cool, and the game she comes from is very fun. I think out of all the lasting appeal of all these characters, I think she's the one who's going to fall first. That's just my opinion. Please feel free to disagree with me. My videos are not about me telling you what I think, and that's the only way to think. Please don't think that's why I do these. But no, I don't get Bayonetta. I don't understand her. And there we go. That was a lot easier to cut characters than it was in Brawl, but man, I find this one definitely the most controversial. I'm going to have some harsh words from a lot of people for a lot of the cuts in this one, I think. But that's what opinions are for. They're just for fun, and these videos are just for fun. So if you take actual offense to any of these characters being cut, please just take a look at yourself, and please understand that this is just a fun video to be silly and fun. And I'd love it if you guys have, you know, better suggestions. Like, I want to hear what your guys' rosters are too. Like I've been saying at the end of all these videos, that your guys' opinions are going to be different than mine, and that's super cool. So that is it for Smash 4. Next time is Smash Ultimate. Geez, Smash 4 had a lot of new characters. Smash Ultimate is going to go a lot faster because there's a lot fewer characters. But we're going to start talking about the rest of the Echo characters, and then some of the DLC characters. So, alright, take care guys, I'm Fellow Blanks, and I'll see you guys next time for another NPC.